how they covered their faces.
Oh, dude!
That's cool.
Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zach.
We're back with the Ahsoka series, season 1, episode 5. Zach, last time we ended on a great little cliffhanger.
We did. She was in the world between worlds, correct?
Yes.
She had the duel with Balin.
And one thing I want to say based on a comment from last week's video, Zach hasn't seen Rebels at all.
Right.
We plan on watching it. You know, I'm not sure how much this show will spoil it, but it's spoiled a little bit already. Mm-hmm. And the things that Zach likes, so that will still be good in Rebels, in my opinion. Unless it's Thrawn's terrible or something, you know?
Yeah, Lars Mikkelsen, I'm looking forward to his portrayal. I know he did the voice acting.
He's an incredible voice actor, I think, for him.
The live action things that I've seen that man in, I was never in love with the characters he represented. Doesn't mean
I didn't love him in The Witcher.
Doesn't mean he did a bad job.
Yeah.
But he never has portrayed a person.
He hasn't had his build of Witcher
Well,
yet.
he's never made himself appealing.
Yeah.
Because even, Daniel Day-Lewis, for example, he was Hawkeye back in Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, I need to say
and
yeah.
That's a great movie, and he plays a cool character, but
Yeah.
he's not the highlight of the movie to me, which they never are, as you well know.
Yeah.
And so, but he became so much cooler as he got older.
Well, Bill the Butcher to me kind of like...
Him as Bill the Butcher and Daniel Plainview, which are not very far separated in terms of their demeanor, as in terms of their just outlook on life.
Well, I haven't seen that one in a while, but I need to again.
Well, they're
give
both
another chance.
spirited.
Definitely going to.
But either way, the point being.
Oh, I guess like some of the big things. Really, the biggest character thing in the episode, which I think Dave. And by the way, the guy who directed one of your favorite Spider-Man movies, Into the Spider-Verse, and the second Into the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he directed that episode.
Okay.
He actually said like he had all these episodes in front of him, and they gave him that one. He said this one is like it's like it gives me the most to do stuff with because all the plot threads connecting, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
He said I don't have to do much. You just got to screw it up, and I thought it was pretty damn good.
No, I did well. I think it did not leave you with a lot to criticize by any means.
Yeah. Well, Sabine's moment. You know, like someone left a comment. I haven't seen Rebels in so long, but she is kind of a conflicted character. And Ahsoka, you know, a lot of people are down on how she's, like you said, stoic. But when you watch Rebels, there's a reason for her stoicism. She feels like...
to me personally, seeing the character and the interactions with Sabine and others, I don't mind her stoicism as much, but I feel sometimes it feels a little on the nose in the discussions and her interactions.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a pessimism a little bit.
Yeah, and to me, it's almost annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But I understand there's a place and it's going to be allowed room to grow and redeem itself. So
story hopefully. But and then my man Hayden Christensen made an appearance in the end.
He did. And
it was just so good to see him. To me, the big thing going forward is what's this going to do for Ahsoka? Like, I wonder how many episodes Hayden's going to be in. Number 2, is she still going to be kind of a brat when she leaves the world between worlds? I feel like that needs to change. That needs to be the number one thing.
So you feel her behavior right now is bratty?
No, I don't mean bratty. I mean, is she still going to be kind of like how Luke was in The Last Jedi? Like, she's resentful, she's bitter, she's giving up hope a little bit.
Well, she obviously reaches a place by the time we find her in The Mandalorian.
Well, this is running concurrently. I don't know exactly.
So we're not sure if this is occurring at the same time that she's been involved with those characters.
Well, we know,
right?
We do know this takes place after Mandalorian Season 2 because Bruce Lee's daughter, she's like, where's Thrawn? You know what I mean?
And she had her locked up. Yeah, you're right. Because they broke her out, and that's why it falls in the timeline. You're right.
But, I mean, typically, honestly, she's kind of acting like a traditional Jedi. Like, a little stoic and...
I guess, in a way. The only ones we ever saw with a sour demeanor, they were usually Mace.
Yeah. But there was like a... I mean, I think to me it feels for her so stoic because she was like so full of life and energy.
Yeah.
And then she feels like the Jedi Order didn't stand by her. And then a person she
certainly didn't.
Yeah, it certainly didn't. Yeah. And then they try to say, we're giving you we're going to make you the rank of master now. You know what I mean? Not the rank of master, but you're going to be a Jedi master now.
Yeah.
And this was your trial. And it's like, no, dude.
The master is a knight.
Yeah, I'm sorry, a full-fledged Jedi Knight, but not a Jedi Master.
Yeah, no, they're just like, we know we fucked up, but we'll make you a knight.
Yeah, so she saw the hypocrisy kind of there. Anakin stood by her, but you know what? That wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. But that also, in a cool way, contributed to his downfall probably a lot. And how he saw the Jedi.
Well, it's an interesting development in her character, and it's given her a lot of room. It made her interesting. It's given her a lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
Instead, Obi-Wan is kind of a constant.
Yeah, he is. For better or worse.
For better.
For better, I think. For better most of the time. One thing I want to say is this, guys. Zach actually just watched the episode where Ahsoka left the Order. We are now in season 6 to where we're finding out the stuff about the Order 66 chip. So you weren't really in Star Wars when there was all this vitriol for Ahsoka. Like, they hated her like they hated Jar Jar.
I had I'd left the franchise for a while.
You left everything. You left me, you left Eric, you left everything.
I did. I left everything. I abandoned my boy.
You did. But you're back. That's what matters.
I missed out on a lot of Star Wars, but it's conveniently helped.
But the good thing is like
for us to sell it.
Yeah, you. What's good is you didn't have to experience 2 or 3 years of like Ahsoka like not being like the coolest character. I don't think she's the coolest character, and I don't know if you would have put the franchise on her back like some people did.
Yeah.
But I think she's proved that she's a great character. They just needed time, and she's still growing. So, anyways, guys, make sure you stick around for the post talk. I did put something on the community channel, a Q&A. So there's going to be spoilers in it. So we're going to read it after. And we appreciate you guys. If you want to watch the full length, check us out on Patreon. I'm excited. Let's jump in. Get to Ahsoka. What's going on here? It's kind of cool looking. Gears on the inside. God, what are we doing here? Lord.
I guess they have to kind of address the fact that they find the place, but when you live on that big of a cliffhanger, it'd be kind of nice to continue.
A cliff on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know. I like his little grocery cart wheel in front of the caster.
Yeah. Chopper. Get to the chopper! Literally, it's how she's doing it to me. No!
I wonder what it's like to feel deep sadness and not be able to weep. Obviously, they're presenting droids with the ability to feel sadness, so...
Yeah.
It's like, how do you relieve that?
I don't know. I mean, even within Star Wars canon, there are people who question the legitimacy of the sadness programming. Like, are they even sad, or is it just a fucking program?
Old.
Looks better at the age.
You lost the fight.
I don't.
Trust me. You lost.
It's already written better. Dialogue.
So you do remember. That's good. I'm here to finish your training. One is never too old to learn, Snips.
They must have had a different department do the effects now, because he looks better. Much better.
All right.
Live.
I wonder if she's dying in the real world.
Maybe.
I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
From Luke! I mean, he elevates it for sure. He knows what he fucking knows what he's doing. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
That's what they always do with it.
Even in the novels. You ever read those novels and you're like, I don't care about this random Jedi.
Well, once we find Sabine and Ahsoka, we can worry
I
about
think they have that in episode 5.
Unless the one thing answers.
Those things she learned.
You think they were aboard that ship?
We're overdue at HQ. Senator Organa says she can only give us cover for so long.
Leia.
We're not going anywhere until I know exactly what happened here. Not now, Jason. Well, we might benefit from people asking a few more questions.
Not if we don't have any...
There's something about the water.
General, we need to figure out what we're going to tell Command.
I'll cover it.
General,
General!
Don't you hear it?
I know this isn't special to you, but his dad is an amazing man.
Carson, get your squadron airborne.
Jason has abilities. His father, Kanan Jarrus, was a Jedi.
Okay. We better get on it then. Lander! Get
It's
everyone.
good to hear his name, man. I know you haven't seen it, but... Did it!
Looks like you don't have much left to offer.
I haven't taught you everything yet.
Dude, I think she's little. It's phase 1 clone troopers. Oh, dude, he's got the short hair and he's got the armor.
This is the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no kidding.
This was one of our first missions. Why are we here?
You tell me.
I mean, like, to think of a child soldier running into to kill things, you know?
Maybe Padawan would be.
Instead of a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's, you know? Twi'leks.
See one Twi'lek.
The Ryloth arc was like the first season, I think. Well, that's Ryloth is where they're from. Child of War. Child of War.
Is there a problem?
We lost so many.
There's always a price to be paid.
It was my fault, because I got them killed.
This is war, Ahsoka. As Jedi, it's our job to lead.
But our mistakes cost lives. That doesn't bother you?
Of course it does. I have to teach you to be a soldier.
Is that all I'll have to teach my own Padawan one day? How to fight.
Do you even want a Padawan? You know, teaching's not all it's cracked up to be.
Really? What makes you say that?
I'm joking.
You're joking.
Yeah, I'm joking. And you'll die.
She's gotta be drowning or something.
I like how they covered their faces.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude!
That's cool.
Come on. Go back.
We're getting some good moments.
I know.
The Vader moment was cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. I mean, and she sees what he, because she knows what he becomes.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I heard that before. When I fight you.
Yeah, she is tenacious.
So was her master.
Yeah? What was he like?
Intense.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah, Death Watch.
You.
This is the mall part, right? When the mall had taken over.
Yeah.
It's kind of in there.
You haven't seen this
Yeah.
yet, but here's some of it.
We'll secure the perimeter. Come on, let's go!
But my part of that legacy is one of death and war.
But you're more than that. Because I'm more than that.
But more powerful and dangerous than anyone realized.
Is that what this is about?
If I am everything you are,
Pardon, how
Or
much?
nothing.
You read this time?
Live
Oh, good job.
Or die.
or die.
Yep.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool.
Yeah. You're right. Oh, bro.
God damn. Okay. That's still cool.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
You lack conviction.
Conviction. Cool. Looks really good.
Yeah. They're smart about him holding her. Her eyes almost look red.
I choose to live.
You're wrong, Your Highness.
Yeah.
There's hope for you yet.
Fuck, really? Hope for you yet.
Anakin.
Droid said to come in low. You mentioned she's probably drowning. Probably find her adrift.
Yeah, like Man of Steel. Gorgeous man. They fucked up with him. Fucked
Yeah,
up.
they did. This music's getting very Land Before Time-ish here. Sort of reminded me of for some reason. There.
Yeah,
It's
it kind of
like,
does. That's a fucking good movie right there.
It is.
Another George Lucas and Spielberg. Matrix fan. Claws gonna come out. Oh yeah, they're definitely.
Just,
If you were like, just well, you might be freaking out. Fuck! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! I'm glad that they're actually doing a thing in the water. That's kind of cool. Because they could have just like her open her eyes
yeah.
and then she wakes up at a hospital. Like Luke and Ben. Ben.
She looks funny without the
Yeah, she looks real funny.
headdress thing on.
I mean, she always has it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, all twigs have something like that. Dude,
You're just going out there in your socks?
is that a blanket or is she starting to transition to Gandalf the White?
Like Gandalf the White.
Yeah, but it's only half though.
Yeah.
Do it. For Ezra.
It's disappointing for her, I think. You know.
I don't think they're coming to help.
She leaves with one cruiser and like 4 X-Wings and the whole fucking fleet comes after her.
Maybe just they're trying to run a tighter ship because of their fledgling
Still
Republic.
Like overkill.
Yeah, maybe that Asian guy who's
That's what I'm
supposed to be the
thinking,
hero.
that motherfucker's coming in there.
Yeah.
There's a whole fleet after her.
Yeah. You say I know fight war, huh?
Whales. Tentacly. Cthulhu whales.
The Senate Oversight Committee is going to determine if your command should be permanently suspended.
That's horseshit. But she didn't do anything that bad. I mean, well, there were people who got killed.
I don't know how you scored.
Remember when they went to hyperspace?
There's no other way. Without the map, we don't have the proper hyperspace coordinates.
White suits her, I think.
What's she gonna fucking do? Are we gonna like sit on their back?
So this happens in Rebels, a certain way. We'll see if they do something different.
That'll do.
Yeah, I agree. The whitelist.
That'll do, pig. She doesn't even call her pants still.
I can't see.
It's a veggie source, Lex.
That is huge.
Fucking huge.
Just don't let them approach.
He's got a hard job with her sometimes.
Please identify yourself.
Captain, you know very well who we are and why we are here. Explain the nature of this mission, or I will see to it that you are stripped of your rank for resisting a direct order from Fleet Command.
But you're not gonna believe me.
It's just like the stories you told me. How the whales took Ezra and the bad guys far, far away.
Yeah, it was.
They saved us.
How did the whale get?
You might see something similar. So
They'll take us.
that's what Ezra does. Yep. You didn't see the Star Wars You watch the Dooku one, but you didn't watch the Ahsoka one. She has an ability at basically from childbirth to do that. Kind of like Baby Yoda. Use it's called Beast Calm or whatever. Beast Influence.
What does it use the fucking brill for? Other star plankton?
Move us in.
All right. But you best come back inside.
Yeah.
You're certain they know where Sabine was taken?
I have no idea.
What?
No idea. I'd move your fleet out of there if I were you.
Evasive maneuvers. Get clear of their path.
What's the point of moving now? They're already right fucking there.
I'll find them. I promise. May the Force be with you.
Okay, and also with you.
Yeah. Guys, that was reaction. Yeah, I guess what do you think, first of all? Do you have any questions? Actually, you know what? Let's do the Q&A first. Okay, Funners. Wow, what an amazing episode. I never thought we'd see Clone Wars in live action. I agree. Well, when this show came out, I definitely hoped it. If we could only witness one Clone Wars / Rebels arc in live action, what would you guys pick? Well, Zach hasn't seen Rebels.
No, I have not.
But, I mean, there's a lot of good ones in there. I imagine, the Thrawn stuff is pretty good. But for me, it would be Twilight of the Apprentice.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah. For Clone Wars, I mean, we're still in the middle of it, but I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good Clone Wars arcs. I mean, I think what would be universally a good arc for everyone, because you wouldn't need to know too much, would be General Krell. General Krell's arc. I mean, that would be, I think, universally liked by everyone, because there's no like epic history, this or that. It's just a random Jedi turning bad, you know.
I suppose. Now that we're in this series with Ahsoka, it'd be kind of cool to see her arc, where I thought that she had killed.
Oh yeah, that would be. I mean, I was gonna say that one for me might be one of my favorite. I mean, I think the hardest thing to do, it's one of the better written ones, was the Mortis trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the Darth Maul.
Well, I read a lot of people comparing what they were seeing as Anakin in the World Between Worlds as one of those figures from the Mortis trilogy, the brother especially. But I wasn't necessarily buying into that.
I guess I don't think so. I
also don't think that some people were surmising that maybe he had taken up that mantle that the father had offered him, saying it's prophesied that you would take my place.
I mean,
but Anakin's dead, and his Force Ghost appeared.
Yeah, he just floats over to Mortis, comes back.
So does he just going to be a Force Ghost over there? Force Ghosting it up, doing his thing. So
I mean,
obviously there's a little more to all of it, because these are beings that are supernatural, let's say. But
yeah, I guess I didn't see him literally taking it, maybe metaphorically. You know, like bringing balance, like becoming the balance, but like I don't think he's going to be literally ruling it, you know, over there. Like that's not my interpretation of it.
This episode was amazing. This is by far Hayden's best performance as Anakin, and he's supposed to be in 2 more episodes this season. Clone Wars flashbacks were awesome. I would have liked if they would have put more budget into the flashbacks, but they were still great. Overall, 4.5 out of 5 stars for episode 5. Episode 4 was a little better in my opinion. I would say that is my favorite portrayal of Anakin from Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
I agree. Because
you can't count
Kenobi. The writing wasn't hammy.
Wasn't like no, because I'm so in love with you.
Yeah, yeah. We got to skip all that Shakespearean bullshit. But Shakespeare wrote it better anyway.
Yeah,
but
it reminded me of just him and Ahsoka's back and forth in the Clone Wars.
Well, just his demeanor.
Yeah,
his demeanor and his delivery really did it. At that moment was probably the greatest moment of the episode, though, when he was walking through the fucking...
Yeah.
At her on that little...
Yeah.
Hyper blue catwalk, whatever the fuck, and he was flashing back between him and Vader. That was really cool.
Yeah,
probably one of the best moments I've seen in Star Wars.
It was truly great, and they delivered on that.
It was very cool.
I mean, it was just so good to see Ahsoka witness that. I mean, I'm glad he's in 2 more episodes. I didn't know that. I try not to follow any spoilers, but I think that's good. I mean, I loved his appearance, but like, I would have liked. It's better to want more than to think that they over delivered.
Yeah, in terms of, I mean, I know they ranked it there 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
But they compared it also to the previous episode. Now, Ray Stevenson, I feel, is stealing the show in this series.
As an actor, he certainly is.
So I feel that I enjoyed the last episode more because it had more of him in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this episode in particular has some outstanding moments.
I agree. The only thing that could have made it 10 out of 10 for me is if Tamir Morrison was literally there laying on the stretcher.
And you got to see, because you hear him.
You hear him. We know that's him underneath the mask. Yeah. But I mean, as fans, I think there is a meta view on like it's great to see these actors. Like we know Anakin's Anakin, Matt Lanner is Anakin, and Hayden's Anakin. But when we see Hayden, it's great. When we see Tamir Morrison,
at the same time, I don't want to always.
Yeah.
It's me. Yeah, in every fucking thing that I see, I don't want everything to be in my face.
No,
but
yeah.
We have to have him in Kenobi.
Yeah,
I don't want to fan like this episode. To me, I understand why people were gushing in terms of Hayden and all of this, but I'm not gushing over it.
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely a powerful and well done episode.
I agree.
There's no arguing it.
Well, this is for you, but I'll rate it. Zach, what did you think of that costume change? Ahsoka coming back to life as Ahsoka the White when she had great clothes on before. Also, you guys have talked about choreography in the last episode, and what did you think of the fights in this one? I personally preferred the moves in this one. Both Hayden and Rosario's execution was on point, in my opinion. First question
in terms of the outfit change that follows in suit, I brought up in the last episode, I think. They kind of goes back to in Lord of the Rings when you had the scene with Elrond with Hugo Weaving. He's like, destroy it!
Yeah.
And she's got the map and everything.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of similarities in terms of visual design with Lord of the Rings, with Balin's outfit.
Yep.
And the line work and everything on it really resembles from Mordor and the Nazgul.
That's a good point.
So it's cool. It's cool to see that bleeding over. And in terms of the duels, this is definitely the best duel of the series thus far.
It is. And it's not a super high bar.
Right, because it was elevated because of him.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But obviously she had to participate to make that happen, and they made it happen. I do think this is the best one. It doesn't mean that the last one with Balin, with Ray Stevenson,
that was
a god-awful thing. Like, now all of a sudden, this is trash.
No, it's not. That was very good. And
it was good.
And I think it gave him a style. Like, it gave him powerful, and he's, you said it last one, solid.
Yeah.
You said he had a solid fighting style.
Mm-hmm.
There was no...
Very firm.
Yeah, there was no room, I think, where it's like, well, they didn't need to... That was like a... Sometimes, like in this, I saw 2 instances where Hayden did an unnecessary spin, but Rosario, like, she did like a spin while he was doing it, and it made it look. It wasn't one of those things where I'm sitting here and then you spin and I'm just waiting.
Well, see, the fight with
that's
Balin,
what made it good.
The fight with Balin, he was waiting at one point for her to strike his back.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's one notch in that fight.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, no, you missed this. This is your mark. Well, in this fight,
have you watched it? Have you watched it since then? Because I only say this. I might be wrong. Because he goes for Ahsoka like this with a power move, and she gets out of the way.
And she just swings at where the sabers.
Well, then she turns and goes like this, and he just
slow.
And he goes, and then he kind of keeps it there. So it.
It looks slow.
It definitely looked slow, but I didn't think it looked like he was waiting for too long.
But you're also the kind of person I've noticed in most arguments we have that's always going to find a way, if you love something, to make excuses for it.
Well, I think I've been very critical of the choreography of this, especially in the first couple episodes.
But either way, this episode, Anakin did some moves where he's like when he actually did the behind the back thing.
Yeah.
There was no need for it.
It wasn't a block or an attack.
Yeah, he just did it.
He did that also in the Kenobi series.
Yeah.
It wasn't a block or an attack.
Yeah.
Nick Gillard, when he's in charge, he makes very good use of the athleticism of Hayden and Ewan to make that move make more sense. So I agree. He just did it here. I liked it, but he just did it.
No, the fight looked great.
Yeah.
It was outstanding. The choreography looked well done. The fight was a good fight. I don't have really any complaints about it other than, they were doing some flourishing that didn't need to happen, but it didn't just, like, destroy the fight for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to skip that one because that's more of a statement than a question.
Well, I'll read it.
It says, "Oh my god, what an episode. Can't wait for the reaction, guys."
Who said it?
Oh, same guy.
It'll be out probably tomorrow.
Probably some of the best Star Wars content since the prequels, in my opinion. Hayden's performance blew me away. It's just great that he's finally getting the love and respect he deserves.
No, I'm glad he's back, and I think people are certainly really happy about it. I think he's, like you said, he's his delivery and the performance and the writing is elevating him. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I love Hayden. I'm not saying he's an Academy Award-winning actor, but he did a couple indie movies where he was critically praised for. But, like, if you also look at Natalie Portman and you look at Ewan McGregor, like, there's great actors in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend George's... I love those movies. I'm not going to defend his dialogue. It's not really Hayden's fault that, like, the world just shit on him and Jake Lloyd.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah. Ace, which is actually Charlie. Ace 360. There is hope for you yet. Legendary episode. Which Ahsoka lightsaber is your favorite? I'm not gonna lie, I don't... People have asked me this before. I'm really bad at remembering all the admirals and commanders in the original trilogy, and I'm really bad at remembering what the lightsabers look like.
You're talking about between when she was young and now?
Yeah, like
Now, definly better. They're sleeker.
I don't even...
One of them has like a curved design to it. Something about them looks so much better, and they almost have a look to them that appears oblong, like ovular in terms of how they're shaped.
Okay.
Like, if you were looking straight down, her one lightsaber is kind of like this.
It's kind of... I did notice there was one that's kind of Dooku-like.
Yeah, and if you look at it from the end, it almost looks like it would be like this. So it's kind of wide.
Oh, yeah.
And flat.
I think you're right.
And
I think I noticed them in what you haven't seen yet, but the last season of the Clone Wars. I know Ahsoka comes back and there's a Siege of Mandalore. I noticed them there, but I remember thinking, like, did she always have those? Or are they different? Like,
because the ones she shows her with when she's younger, they have kind of the young Obi-Wan ball on the end of it.
Okay.
One of them did.
I know for sure now because I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that saber, and I'm not a fan of
the
Episode 1 lightsabers, Qui-Gon's. I'm sorry, I like Liam Neeson a lot, but that lightsaber was a dud. And Obi-Wan's was not much better.
And Darth Maul's is not much
better.
Darth
Maul's is just very simple, and he makes it cool. Because it's a simple thing with a bunch of fucking buttons on it.
Yeah.
If it didn't have all the buttons on it, it probably would have looked cooler.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you fucking use that thing without hitting the buttons?
I mean, there's like a lock.
There's so many buttons.
There's like a lock.
I know, I understand, but there's so many buttons that it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like a fucking clarinet.
Yeah, I don't know why you would need them. Like, what would they do? Like, I know there's lengthening and shortening, but it's usually like a thing you...
A dial.
Yeah, the other ones, like, you turn off and on, but it's probably the same button with everything else.
It's a lot, but his was probably the best out of that episode in the series. Either way, I feel it's her sabers now are much cooler. Do you think it's the best Star Wars TV episode Disney have made? Look forward to the upload, John. This is the adventurous vlogger. I'll let my personal opinion, no. But I'm also a huge fanboy of Andor.
Yeah.
I don't say that because it's not like I memorized everything.
Yeah.
But I really liked Andor, so...
Well, you sent me something that I thought was great. Someone said, this is showing us Star Wars at its best. We're having, like, the gritty, realistic Andor here, and we're having the fun, whimsical...
This is the fantastical.
The fantastical.
Yeah. There's the fantasy elements. This is elevated.
And I think that is just a great way to put it. Like, I like both, and Star Wars should have both.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I would agree that if you were able to separate them, it's kind of like people saying, like, who would win in a fight between Mike Tyson and, like, Rocky Marciano. It's like, or, like, you know, Ali and fucking, I don't know, Jack Dempsey. Like, you're comparing two different elements of the same sport and time. And whereas Andor is very representative
and
of like
training styles,
4
like people
and 5.
trained differently back then,
and
like
diets were different,
and they valued certain things more.
Yeah,
so they trained those certain aspects of their fights more.
Mm-hmm. And you look at in Star Wars, Andor is very representative of 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, and like
kind of the gritty,
even more gritty though too.
Yeah, I agree, but it's also representative of those things that made those that gave them their charm.
Yeah,
and whereas this is very representative of the Clone Wars, Rebels, the cartoons, the kind of the prequel era, but it didn't really have the fantastical elements in terms of the world between worlds.
Yeah.
So this is very much an elevation of the cartoon and the things you got in animation.
Yeah.
So the fantastical, I wouldn't call it whimsical because I feel like this show is serious enough.
Yeah.
That it's not quite so whimsical.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's hard to answer that. I mean, I think you can go either way. To me, I also like I mean, The Mandalorian really, I think, got people in a great way talking about Star Wars, and it made... What was so great about The Mandalorian, especially season 1, was it's like, oh, wow, this is like... I didn't give a shit about it, like, when I heard about it, and then I watched it, I go, wow, anyone who even doesn't like Star Wars could watch this. I think it's entertaining.
Well, the Vader stuff, definitely, I could see why that would make people think, oh my god, this is the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And him and Hayden coming back. And I don't disagree. I won't, like, shit on somebody for thinking that.
Yeah.
Because there were very powerful, very fucking badass moments.
Yeah.
Where he was walking off into the battle, and you see him as Vader briefly when he's coming at her.
And what it does for Ahsoka, too.
Yeah, and it's flashing back and forth between him and Vader as he's stomping across that platform. So cool.
Yeah.
So fucking cool. And
did you see... they were doing this thing that I kind of see in video games, and I think the fight choreographer, he had that in mind. Like when they show power, they have like a power move, and there's like a foot stomp, like a Hayachi Mishima from Tekken. Yeah. I saw that come across in this, and I thought it was actually kind of a cool move. I saw Balon do it a couple times.
Oh
yeah. Clone Wars. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, I would say it's probably not the best Star Wars TV episode they've ever made by any means, but I don't think it's like, I think it deserves its place in terms of powerful moments.
Yeah, to me, and I'm speaking at least 75% for Zach, I think this had one of my favorite moments I've ever watched.
Because Kenobi had some pretty powerful moments too.
Yeah, I don't think it.
And so you got to think so much to compare to, because you had a lot of Vader there.
And you got those two things, like those two things you just mentioned. To me, like every single thing that Stellan Skarsgård said, especially that speech, was one of the greatest lines of dialogue in all 9 movies and all 4 shows. I mean, Twilight of the Princess, to me, has like one of the best moments I've ever seen in all the movies as well. It's hard to say. I think it's good that there's.
I have to assume by Star Wars television they're talking about live action.
Yeah, you're probably right. Although, like, because, dude, the Clone Wars and Rebels, they are legit.
I understand, but was limited to live action. Because if this is...
Yeah, for me, it would be this or Andor, but I think if I was going to... If the aliens were pointing...
It's a TV...
Yeah, if the aliens were pointing the fucking death ray at the world...
TV episode.
Yeah, if the aliens were pointing the death ray at us, I would give them The Mandalorian. If I was going to watch something...
Yeah, but it's asking about an episode, though.
Oh,
It says TV episode.
Is this the best episode? I don't think it's the best episode, but it's to me it has one of my favorite moments in all the episodes and all the movies.
Yeah, you're pretty much your favorite character in
the in my favorite character that I loved the prequels when I saw them so much. I loved Anakin, but if I saw him at 30 years old, I'm not sure I'd feel the same way about him. But like when you watch the Clone Wars and you put the characters like, okay, those are the same characters. They enrich him in so many ways, and then they take Hayden. And they give us Revenge of the Sith Anakin that's been enriched through Clone Wars Anakin.
Well, that's the thing, is they're giving you right now his portrayal here of the character, even though he's not strictly the character.
Yeah.
But he's probably the best embodiment you're going to get.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances, that definitely, like you said, enriches his character.
Well, the
prequels.
Yeah, like episode 4, we
elevates. It brings out everything you saw in the cartoons.
Yeah, the pilot, the hero, the friend.
Yeah, he's an embodiment of everything. A lot of things that are very cool about that character.
Yeah.
And a very short dose of his transition into what he became.
Yeah.
And he also said, that's not all I am.
That was actually, I saw you had a moment there. You kind of looked at me like, I think that's what she needed to hear.
Yeah.
Because if that's what's been holding her back with Sabine, if that's what's holding her in like this kind of the state that she's in. And I know you haven't seen Rebels, but there's like guilt, there's all these things.
Yeah.
Then I think she needed to hear that. Yeah. Razorhorn 1775. When Ahsoka had to fight Anakin, it reminded me of how Cal Kestis had to finish his training with Jaro Tapal in the game, and he had to fight and accept what happened. I agree. Zach hasn't seen that, but it's a good moment. Not as good, in my opinion, but it's a good moment. A good moment, yeah.
We have Santonio Jones.
Yeah.
All right. Will this be the series that helps close the missing gaps between episodes 3 and 4 movies? Anakin to Vader edit was amazing. Now, I think we've more like closing the gap between episodes 6 and 7, Return of the Jedi and A Force Awakens.
Yeah, so you want to take your take first?
Well, I want to look and see what he may have meant, but he may have
meant what this guy.
Yeah, meant what that guy. I had to jump in and go, actually. First off, the Anakin to Vader edit, we've harped on that
it's a good
for
one.
a while.
It's a damn good one.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So we agree with you there, Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
In terms of closing the gap, I feel like a lot of these series, especially as Mandalorian's gone on and what's included with Luke in the Jedi Temple Academy.
Yeah.
her involvement there, and as this builds up to the heir of the Empire, heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that this is definitely going to culminate. Yeah, I agree. They're pulling what Marvel already did.
Yeah.
They're using the same playbook essentially.
They should.
And they're taking these series instead of doing movie installations.
Yeah.
They're doing series, episodic.
Yeah.
And they're sewing it all together, and they're gonna stitch it up and
Let's
probably bring us into maybe, hopefully, some better sequel films than I feel we got to be.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So
that's
hopefully
legitimate. I mean, here's the thing. I love.
But how would they wouldn't really be sequel films. They couldn't be in a number.
Well, they're going to culminate with a film.
I understand, but I'm saying it would just have to be a film, kind of like Rogue One.
Well, for better
like
or worse.
Rogue One happens right before.
Yeah.
A New Hope. It'd be essentially.
I mean,
thing.
if this stays as good and then in the movie is a little bit better, then I think people are going to consider these are my legitimate sequels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's redeeming.
Yeah.
And I would like that.
Yeah.
I would like that because at least I would have something like yes, I can at least go here.
Yeah.
And not go over there.
Yeah. My 5 head. How about that choreography? Hayden still got it. We did talk about that best choreography we've seen in the show. And Hayden, he still got it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. Good performance. Everything looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we answered a lot of what we were going to talk about reading these, and that's actually probably a good thing. I'll just leave off by saying I'm so happy to see him. I almost got in tears. I know you didn't, but I just love that guy so much. Man, it's nice to watch it with you because like we grew up with me and Eric grew up watching the originals. You know, it's just really cool for me. If he's in 2 more episodes, that's great. I wanted a little more from him, but if we didn't get any more, I think with her transitioning to Ahsoka the White and seemingly a little more cheery, like, oh, I don't know where we're gonna go. That's the fun in it. Like I think that's kind of bringing her back to how she was before some of that stuff happened.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that way whenever Qui-Gon's brought up at the end of Kenobi. He's there, and it's like, I want to see more Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
But, like, what are you really going to get?
But he's kind of serving his purpose.
Yeah, like, so what are you really going to get from it anyway? I mean, he's just, okay, this is how you become a ghost.
Yeah, you do this, you just coach a bunch of... Like, I would love to see him, and Dave, he's probably written something better than I can even comprehend to have him back. I don't think they'll just have him, I mean, I'm sure if he's back, there'll be a point to it. But if not, I'm really happy with what we got.
I agree.
And
I thought he did well. It was very cool to see him as almost like an elemental thing.
Yeah.
Versus, someone that was just a version of him that was plucked out of time, space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's trying to sort out this puzzle.
What I was kind of worried about was like something happened. It would have to be before he got maimed on Mustafar. Like he found the world between worlds, and it was like that version of Darkseid Anakin pre-suit, like running around doing shit. Like that's why I didn't want to happen.
Yeah,
but they gave us like a spiritual, consistent with like kind of what we've seen.
I agree. I think it's better to have him this way.
Yeah.
Representative of her struggles and her experiences with him.
And the idea of like he's redeemed. He redeemed himself. He brought balance, but he can like when he was teaching Ahsoka, I thought like it was cool that he can bring out that darkness that he needed for her. You know. Anyways, I loved it. Now I think they gave me a great Hayden moment and Ahsoka moment and a great fight. I think they made Rebels fans happy. I think let's just see some good Thrawn stuff.
Yeah, now that we're off with the whales here.
Yeah, literally.
I really want to see what's going on with Thrawn.
Yeah, I'll just say at the end of Rebels, like it essentially was kind of like that.
I was kind of hoping we get it at the tail end of this episode, but the way it ends,
Thrawn. I hope so too.
But we kind of get that moment sort of like at the end of 5.
Yeah.
Where they're all taking off into space and shit.
That's what I thought.
That's kind of what I got from it. So I'll take that. It's very, it's a kind of an homage. But I did really kind of wish. What I don't want to happen is Thrawn just kind of walks in a cool way in the beginning of an episode, and it kind of takes away the power of his intro. Because when you introduce him at the end, like Hayden when he came back, it's much more powerful.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I agree.
That's
like
kind of where I'm at with it. I just hope he's brought in.
Do you think that shot of his back from the trailer is like his first intro?
I don't know. You think it would be?
I think it would be too.
It would appear like it, it should be.
Yeah, I mean, to me going forward, I would love to see Hayden, but I think we need to have a good story with Thrawn. He needs to be great. I would love to see Zeb, but it might just be impossible to put him in a lot because he's just expensive. Mm. But he's a great character. I'm actually excited for you to watch him. I think you'll like him.
I've seen enough of Rebels to know who he is.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen that for like first 2 episodes.
And Kanan, like to me, when they talked about Kanan, to me that was just incredible. I mean, that's all I want to say. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but he's a great character. And Freddie Prinze Jr., just because I Know What You Did Last Summer with you, I just love that guy. And
he's still married to Sarah Michelle Gellar, right?
Yeah, still married, and so he's banging her, so good for him. That's what I say. And Sarah Michelle Gellar actually voices an Inquisitor.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Part of the franchise?
Them, and then Ewan and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Mm-hmm. They're like the power Star Wars couples.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Anyways, you got anything else?
I have nothing else.
Okay. We'll probably do another Q&A thing next week, guys. I'll put a reminder, though, the day it comes out before we film. So anyways, guys, we appreciate you. If you want to see the full length, I recommend it. I'm gushing. Get out of here. We're out.